If they haven't already, Uniswap is solidifying themselves as the dominant AMM. Like they're literally creating a monopoly over the market. They're innovating with Uniswap X, the Uniswap wallet. They're making acquisitions. But in this video right here, we're going to be talking all about Uniswap version 4 hooks. All the benefits, at least all the benefits that I know of right now through reading the white paper and doing the research, listening to Hate and Talk on Bankless podcast. I'm going to be making all of this digestible, talking about how it can benefit you as a liquidity provider and as a swapper on Uniswap. Okay. Before we get into content, I do have to say that this is not financial advice. Please consult with your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. This video is for your education purposes only. And as always, do your own research. And not that you care or anything like that, but I like to wear a crypto shirt on the project that I'm covering. But when I went to ETH Denver, Uniswap didn't have any merch, so I'm wearing this 1-inch shirt. They're the only shirt I have with another Dex, and they have a unicorn just like Uniswap. Got the pink lights in the background. Again, not that you asked or that you care, but just figure out share it with you. So the first thing is, with the launch of Uniswap V3, they had the code audited and all that stuff, and then they just launched it to the market. They're actually taking a different approach with Uniswap V4. They're doing it sort of like a slow rollout so they can battle test it, get developers' feedback, and allow them to build on it before they, just go ahead and launch it onto the market. So, I like that they're doing that, getting feedback, because, if you can make something optimal for developers, the developers are then going to go and make it optimal for customers. Okay. So the launch of Uniswap V4 hasn't happened yet, and we don't have a date, but I'm expecting a slow rollout over the next couple months. At least that's what, the Uniswap team is saying. So what are hooks? Uniswap hooks are almost like an application that allows you to build things on top of it. It offers all kinds of customization. You'll be able to hook up oracles if you're a different project, or if you just want to have some kind of customization to the pools that you're deploying. So it sounds like you're going to have to be a more experienced developer to build out these hooks, but I'm hoping that these developers will create a standard so that me, who's not a developer, and you who may not be, when we come to swap or to provide liquidity, we can be like, oh, I want to use that hook, or I want to use that hook. I'm pretty sure that's how they're going to do it. So let's talk about a few of the benefits that hooks are going to offer. The first thing is on-chain limit orders. Now, I love that because I'm a big advocate of DeFi, and I try to use centralized exchanges the least amount possible. So, right now, they have on-chain limit orders. I think SushiSwap has them, but there are some times when the order doesn't get filled. It's not like a centralized exchange where you can rely hey, I know my limit order is going to get filled. It's not like that in DeFi yet. So I'm hoping that Uniswap can build this thing out correctly so that, I can do my limit orders on a decentralized exchange. And if you don't know what a limit order is, it's just basically saying, hey, let's say I want to enter into a limit order on Ethereum, a buy limit order or a sell limit order, same thing. If I'm entering into a buy, I'm saying, hey, here's my USDC. Price of ETH right now is at 2,000, for example. When it goes to 2,500, take my USDC and buy the ETH. That's a buying limit order, and it's the same thing on the downside when you sell. You can say, hey, here's my ETH. Once it gets to this price, swap it out for X asset, USDC, Tether, etc. So that's one thing, limit orders. Second thing is, they did say that they do have this in Uniswap V3, but I guess they're building on it a little bit more. Oracles. So first off, an oracle is basically something that connects something on-chain to off-chain, or it can connect something on-chain to something else on-chain. So let's say you want to build some kind of application that sells the weather, right, on-chain, and you want your weather on-chain. You can create an oracle to your news station or whatever. They're saying, hey, the weather is this, or your weather app. So that way when the weather app changes, let's say, oh, it's going to rain, but they change their mind, that it'll communicate that to your oracle, and now that'll change on chain. That's just an easy example. These have so many different use cases. Another benefit that you're going to be able to do with Uniswap V4 is dynamic fees. You can create a hook that allows you to create volatility-based fees. So for example, let's say you want to charge a fee based on volume. Let's say you're in a pool and you're hey, if volume increases by 30%, charge this extra fee. Or you can say, hey, if volume decreases by 5%, charge a lower fee. You can also create different base fees. So right now, you go on Uniswap. When you go to provide liquidity in a pool, they'll give you a few base fee tiers, 0.5, 1%, and it's normally 2 to 4 of them. Hayden Adams said that they wanted to hard code this into V3, but they didn't know if it was the best idea. Now you're going to be able to create your own base fees, which is really, really cool. And I think the biggest innovation for Uniswap V4 is what they're calling a singleton contract. So a singleton contract is basically allowing all of the pools on the whole DEX to be under one contract versus how it is right now. If I go and deploy a pool, that's a brand new contract. So you have all these different smart contracts, okay? But now the singleton contract, all the pools are going to be under one. Here's the benefits to that. First, it's going to help when you want to offload a large order. Like if you want to make a large swap, right now what happens is it'll go and route to different pools to get you the most efficient price. But since all of these pools are all different smart contracts, you're paying a different gas fee for each one. So like for example, let's say I want to swap some odd pair, like I want to swap some Chainlink for some Gala or something like that. Now what'll probably happen is it'll probably route it across multiple pools and go, all right, we'll go Chainlink to USDC, USDC to USDT, USDT to Gala, and then that Gala gets sent back into your wallet. So I have to touch 4 pools. You have to pay 4 different gas fees. But now, given that everything's under one contract, it'll easily be able to pull from those different pools. And since it's not creating a new smart contract, but instead interacting with the pre-existing one, it's way less gas that has to happen. And now you're going to be able to save money. And this is also going to help liquidity providers. Like from the research that I'm doing, it's going to reduce gas on creating a new liquidity pool by 99%. That's huge. You're also going to be able to, going back to the example of offloading a large order or making a large swap, you're going to be able to make a large swap over time. So you can say, hey, I want to swap this $35 million worth of Chainlink for Gala, and I want the swap to be done by the end of the week, or, in 2 days, or in 1 day, or in a few hours. You're going to be able to do this on both sides of price, buying and selling, and you're going to be able to do it simultaneously. So you can be buying a large amount of Gala and selling a large amount of Gala at the same time and only paying 1 gas fee. That's huge. And lastly, let's say you want to buy a token. You don't always have to go and do the swap and have the token hit your wallet. The singleton contract is going to allow you to buy the token, leave it in the singleton contract, almost leave it on Uniswap instead of transferring it to your wallet, right? That's also going to save on gas. Okay, I just had to record this video again to just really drive home how Uniswap is separating itself from other dexes. So these hooks that they're calling is allowing developers to build, different things on top of Uniswap, different functionality within Uniswap for personal use or for other people to use. I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but let me give you guys an analogy because we all learn good from analogies. This is kind of like when Apple's App Store went from Apple making all of the apps within the App Store to other people making apps within the App Store. The biggest companies don't get to be the biggest, most profitable companies without making other people rich. And you know how many companies got rich from the Apple App Store. Instagram, Facebook, same with the Google Play Store, same thing. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, DoorDash, Airbnb, Uber, none of that would have been possible if Apple wouldn't have allowed other companies to build applications instead of them just building all the applications. And that's exactly what Uniswap V4 hooks is like. Right now, Uniswap V3 is all functionality that Uniswap built and allows users to build. With the advent of hooks, they're allowing other people to build things. And what this is going to do is really separate Uniswap from other decentralized exchanges because it's going to be harder to fork it. They may be able to fork the tech, but you can't fork all of the things that everyone's building on top of it. It's going to make their liquidity really, really sticky. I just wanted to really drive that point home for you guys. This is huge. If you want another example, just look at Amazon. Amazon got to be one of the most valuable companies because they helped other people build their own Amazon stores, and they created so many millionaires from that service. It's a platform. So I'm just kind of scratching the surface here. I'm going to do more research and maybe make another video in the future. So, I know this one was short, but let me know if you guys have questions. Give me some feedback in the comments, concerns, etc., etc. Apply to get into the Discord. I'm going to leave the link in the description. We will be launching Know It All soon, where it's going to be everything DeFi, yield farming, getting you set up with airdrops, the best community on Web3 education, okay? So with that, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video.